Hello friends, my name is Sumit and today we will be dealing with the creation of login and registration page. So we will be using JSP, Servlet, and in database we will be using Postgresql, or you can use MySql also. I will be telling about MySql also and Postgresql also at the same time. So the basic layout will be like this. When a user comes on login page, then he will get the first diagram which you are looking at, that is user ID and password, which will be the welcome page, and the user will feed the user ID and password and click on the login. If the user had already done login, then login will be done and it will go to the welcome page like hello user kind of thing, or otherwise it will tell the user or create a message like please do the registration, or registration has not been done, please proceed for the registration. These kind of messages will be printed, and finally user will click on this registration label which is in the first logo which you are looking at, and then on clicking on the registration button, user will be redirected to the registration page, that is the right side which you are looking at. This is the registration page, and here user will provide different data like user ID, name, password, and retype the password. And after doing all these things, user can click on the register, and when the user clicks on register after feeding the different data which are required, then registration will be done and the user will be then redirect to the login page. And then when after registration, when user comes to the login page, then he or she can feed the user ID and password and click on login and proceed to the welcome page. In this way we will do the process, that is login, then if not login, then go to registration. If registration done, then finally go to login page and feed the login details and go to the welcome page, that will print the welcome user kind of thing. So let's see and proceed for the coding. So let's start the coding. In file, go to new and click on dynamic web project, go to others, dynamic web project, click on next. I'll name it as my register project, my registration project. Click on next, and I'll generate a web.xml deployment descriptor and I'll click on finish. Let it create a project. No, I don't want my perspective to change, so I will click on no. So I created my registration project. In the web content, in the web.inf, I'll find a web.xml file, and in this I will just remove the extra columns. I will just create a customer object, so I will be naming that file as login.jsp, and I will go to web.inf and I will create a new JSP file. So I will click on this and I will name it as login.jsp and I'll click on finish. In the body, I'll provide a form and I'll name the action as login register, and in the form I'll be providing table. So I'll be in the table I'll be providing different rows, that is tr, and in the different rows I'll be providing different columns, that is td, and I'll be copying these and providing it into two parts. And in the first part I'll be writing user name, and in the second type I'll be providing input type text, and I'll name it as name, and in the second column also I'll be providing similar kind of thing. In the second column I will provide password, and basically creating this form. I will provide user ID, password, login and registration link. So user ID, password, and here the type will be password, and I will name this also as password only, and in this input will not be here. In the third part I will be providing a login button, or you can say input type as submit. I will name it as submit, and I will provide its value also, value login, and I'll provide a reference link. So I'll provide a and href, and I'll be creating a new registration page for my link of registration. I created user ID, password, and login tab. Like you can see, user ID is there and password is there, and I have created a submit button where login will be printed, and it will look like this. And I'm providing registration link, and I'll be providing a registration link here, and registration will be printing on the front screen, and I'll provide a register.jsp, and it will redirect to register.jsp. So we have made our login.jsp file. So we close, and right click on this, run on server. Yes, I will use this server only. Click on next. I don't want this to be here. I want only my registration project. I'll click on finish. This gave an error. Why this gave an error? Okay, I made a mistake. Like this will be here only. Control C, or simply I'll move this to this part. It is in here. I'm stopping the server right now. I'll click on refresh, and I will project clean all project, clean all project. I'm clearing the console, and now I'm running this again. Run on server. See, we've got our login page. What I will do, some modifications I will do, like I provide some style for my table. Style. Let's stop the server for this server. Yes, I'll start this server. Create the console. I'll provide a style like border color, or I'll provide background color. I'll provide the color as sky blue, and I'll be providing margin left. I'll be providing 20 px. Margin top, I'll be providing like 20 px will be sufficient, I think. And I created my table, and I've set the background of my table with sky blue color. And let's run this and see how it looks like. Run on server. See, this is came, but this is not coming. This came when I refresh this page. This is coming incorrectly. So let me expand this. One more thing I would like to do is on the top only I will provide tr, and inside this tr I will be printing td. I'm copying this thing. And in this td I will be providing h, rename name it as history, and I'll print login page. And I'll provide this style, color, make it as red. Red is fine. Now let's see how it looks like. See, now it's looking a little bit better than the earlier time. So we have created our login page, and I'm going to create a registration page which I had provided in my, let's stop the server for now, which I provided this in my reference, that is register.jsp. So I'll right click on web and go to new, create, go to other, JSP file. I will write here register.jsp and click on finish. And I'm just copying this data from here. Simply I will see in Eclipse we've got a shortcut for different things. So for arranging my table data, I will use Control Shift and S. See, this has been arranged right now. I will simply copy this form and I will paste it here. And what extra things which I want in my registration is, I will change the background color, and I will provide user ID is already provided here, password is already provided here, but we want extra field for retype password and name. So, and I will in place of login they will be registered, and registration link will not be there in the registration page. So I'll make this according to my diagram. That is, username will be there, password we want extra field for retype password. So I'm simply copying this and I'll paste here, and I'll type here retype password, and I will name this as password 2, and I will name this as password 1, and I'll provide an extra field for name. I'll provide an extra field for name that I will provide as name. I will put this as username. Simply this also I'll put this as username. And in registration.jsp I'll put username. Similar thing has been done here also. So registration page also I have done similar thing. I will just provide register as the value, and I'll name it as submit, and type will be submit. These are okay, and I will remove this link of registration, as this is a registration page, and I will change some of the parts, like I will be using action link, this only, and I will change this. Instead of changing the registration page color to sky blue, I will be changing this as light green. Why this? Because in our diagram only I have made a login page as login form as light green, and provide this as kind of sky blue. So I'll provide registration page with sky blue color, and login page with light green color. So let's run the code and see how it looks like. Right click on this, run on server. See, we've got our login page. I'm clicking on this, and here login will not work because we haven't provided any code for login. And when we click on register, we will be redirected to, okay, this is coming same as registration. Why this coming? Because we are using same name here. Registration should be used here, and this should be black. Default color is black only. Registration page is registration page. So let me go back and refresh. See, we've got a login page with green color, and when I'm clicking on registration page, I'm getting on registration page. I'll make it red only. Red will look good. Red. Control save. So make the table size make it leave it. So when I'm going to login page, I'm got a green color with user ID, password, login button and registration. This is same as green color, user ID, password, login and registration. And when I'm clicking on registration link, I'm going to registration page, user ID, name, password, retype password and registration button. This is same as user ID, name, password, retype password and registration button. So in the backend, what I will be doing, I will be coding for my backend part. So we are done with login.jsp and registration.jsp. Now I'm going to code on my backend part. Let's go to the src folder, right click on src and create a new package. In the package part, what I will do, I'll just name as login.sumit.registration and click on finish. And in this package, I'll be providing a interface where I'll provide my provider connection URL for JDBC. So I'll name it as my provider and I'll click on finish. In the provider interface, I'll be providing string Postgres. This is the Postgres, my database Postgres, and the password of my root directory I'll be providing as campus123, which is the password of my root directory of my database, and I'll be providing connection URL. I will name it as the connection of my database, whole connection, that is JDBC colon postgresql colon / localhost. My port number is 5432 plus I will name it as login db. I will be creating a db with this name. So see, this is used when we are using Postgres. One key will be there, Postgresql localhost 5432, and when you are using MySql, you will be just replacing this part, that is Postgresql part. This part you should be replacing with MySql. Okay, so I have created my provider and I will be providing a connection provider. So I will be creating a class which will implement this interface, that is my interface, my provider interface, and I will name it as connection provider, or my connection provider will be much more specific. And in this I will be providing the connection driver, that is I will be creating a static method connection static variable on class level. I will be using con, I will name it as con only, and I will be null initially, and I will create a method. Next to class level method, it will return the connection, and get con will be called, then it will return the connection. And in this method I will be writing some codes in try catch block to get the connection, and exception I will be printing exception. The try block I will be writing class dot for, I am writing this for CLA class for, I am writing this for my connection driver, and I will name it as the connection driver of my Postgres, that is or dot Postgresql dot driver. DRIVR. If you are using MySql, then you will be writing the connection driver as con.mysql.jdbc.driver. This is the driver path of MySql, and I will provide a connection that is con, which I provided this. This will be provided to driver manager dot get connection, and in this connection I will be providing this my package data, that is connection URL, password, and username of my directory. So I will simply provide connection URL, user ID, that is username, and password. So we are done with this part, and we have provided a connection. Whenever a get connection will be called, we will simply return the connection. So I will return con. So we have provided an interface for getting connection URL, and now we are done with my connection part. So now I will be creating a class. I will name it as customer, and I will click on finish. In this customer, I will be providing two things like string user name. I will make this as private, and I will provide private string name, private string password. Providing password in form of string is not a good thing, because string stores its different strings in the string heap, that is the string pool. So not string heap but string pool. So password remains in the string pool. So it's not considered as safe to store password in string, but I am using here just to demonstrate you. I will click on source, click on return sectors, select all. So we have provided a setter and return. This I am saying that not to use string, because in high security level, when you create a login page, you should be using character array instead of string. So we are done with my customer bean, and now I am going to create a customer DAO class, or sorry, for customer DAO interface. So customer DAO, and in this customer DAO I will be providing two methods. One method to click on login and get the user details, and another method to feed data in the when registration is called. So to get a method, I will be writing in this interface, that is public customer get customer, and to get a customer I will be passing string user name, string password, and one more method I will be providing public insert customer. I will be inserting a data in the database, and the object data whose data will be inserted in the customer table will be of customer, and this object data will be inserted in the database. So I created an interface for customer DAO, and I will be implementing this customer DAO. So I will create a class which will implement the customer DAO. Click on OK. I will be writing customer DAO INTL, finish. So we have got our abstract methods in my customer DAO implementation. To insert a data in the customer DAO, what I will do is I will simply provide a variable status, and I'll provide a try catch block. Catch exception E. And not to waste time, I'll be using this in our second method also, so I'm providing this here also. Okay, so in try I'll be providing my connection provider. So first create some static methods like static connection on static prepared statement, which will prepare the query. Prepared statement, make it as PS, and in this try block what I will be providing is connection. So connection will be connection provider, or simply I will be using our my connection provider dot get connection, and I'll prepare a statement, that is prepared statement. I'm expanding this window to get it clearly. Prepared statement will be prepared statement will be con dot prepared statement, and in this I'll be providing data to insert in the database. Insert into customer values. I'll be putting two values, question mark, comma, question mark. Okay, and I will pass the parameters dot set in string, and the first parameter will be of username, user ID. So c dot get username, and in the second also I'll be providing string, and in the second column I'll be providing c dot get name, and in the third column of my database I'll be providing, this is not what I require, and the third one I'll be using c dot get password, and I'll be inserting these in the database. So I'll execute the query, ps dot execute update, and I'll close the connection on dot close. So this is, we have done our part in this setting in database, and I'll simply return the status. And this is our next part, that is to get the data from the customer part. What I will do is I will create, similarly I will create query for this also.